Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into the incredible story behind the blueprint for the world's largest democracy. I mean, think about it. After centuries of colonial rule, how do you even start to write a single rulebook for a brand new nation? Well, let's find out.
Right, this was the colossal question facing India's founders. You have to remember, the nation in 1947 was this incredible mosaic of languages, religions, and cultures. But it was also reeling from the horrors of partition and grappling with these really deep-seated social inequalities. So the task? It wasn't just about writing laws. It was about forging a whole new national identity from scratch.
You see, with the British gone, the old colonial laws just weren't going to cut it anymore. They weren't designed for a sovereign nation. India urgently, desperately needed a new foundational document, a constitution, to define how its government would work, how it would protect its citizens, and really to chart a course for the future.
Now, this whole journey didn't just happen overnight. Not at all. It actually started way back in 1934 with an idea. That idea grew into a formal demand, it survived rejected proposals from the British, and then finally, it led to the creation of a sovereign constituent assembly right after independence in 1947. So, who were these architects? Who were the people tasked with this monumental job? Well, the responsibility fell to the members of the Constituent Assembly, a body of some of the most brilliant minds, really, representing the vast diversity of India itself. Just look at that number. 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. Almost 3 full years. That tells you everything you need to know about the sheer amount of time, the intense debate, and the meticulous effort that went into drafting this constitution. This wasn't something that was rushed. It was painstakingly crafted, word by word.
And the process itself was just a massive undertaking. Under the leadership of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the Assembly held 11 different sessions, and they studied constitutions from all over the world to see what worked and what didn't. But here's the crucial part. They published the first draft for public feedback. They wanted the people to weigh in, which made it a truly democratic exercise from the get-go.
And this quote from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee, really gets to the heart of it. He talks about a dual polity. Now, what does that mean? In simple terms, it means power isn't all in one place. It's shared between the central national government and the individual states, with the Constitution being the ultimate boss for both of them. So you see, the Constitution wasn't just a boring list of rules. No way! It was this set of brilliant, elegant solutions designed to tackle India's unique and incredibly complex problems, starting with its mind-boggling diversity. Okay, so problem number 1, diversity. How do you make sure that all these different regions with their own cultures and languages and needs all feel heard? The solution was a federal system. This basically divided powers between the central government and the states. But, and this is key, it kept the center just strong enough to hold the entire nation together. It's a delicate balancing act. All right, next big question. What kind of government should India have? The framers looked at the American presidential system and the British parliamentary system. And in the end, they went with the parliamentary model. Why? Well, think about it. After centuries of being ruled by a foreign power that wasn't accountable to anyone, they were really worried about giving one person too much power. The parliamentary system made the government directly accountable to the people's elected representatives, which meant more cooperation and way wider representation. And all of these big ideas are boiled down into the preamble, which is kind of like the Constitution's mission statement. It declares India to be sovereign, totally free from foreign rule, socialist, with the goal of ending poverty and inequality, secular, giving every single citizen the right to practice their faith or no faith at all, democratic, meaning power ultimately rests with the people, and a republic with an elected president, not a king or queen. But, beyond the nuts and bolts of government, there's a part of the Constitution that many people call its very conscience, and that is the guarantee of fundamental rights for every single citizen. These fundamental rights really are the Constitution's greatest promise. You can think of them as the Magna Carta of India. It's a charter that protects every individual from the power of the state and guarantees their most basic freedoms. It's a shield for the citizen. And these rights are literally the building blocks of justice. First up, the right to equality, which makes sure nobody is above the law. Then, you've got the right to freedom, which gives us essential liberties like freedom of speech. There's also the right against exploitation, protecting the vulnerable by banning things like forced labor. And of course, the right to freedom of religion, which protects India's incredible religious diversity. And if you want to see just how revolutionary this was, look no further than Article 17. It didn't just discourage, it abolished the horrific, deeply ingrained practice of untouchability, outlawed it in any form.
This was the Constitution taking a stand and directly attacking an ancient, brutal social injustice. It was a massive statement.
So, after all that incredible work, what is the Constitution's legacy? I mean, why does this document, written over 70 years ago, still matter so much today? Well, the answer lies in its absolutely genius design as a living document. See, the framers were smart. They knew India would change in ways they couldn't even imagine, so they built in a way for it to be amended. But, and this is the genius part, they also protected its core soul, what the courts call the basic structure. Think of things like democracy, secularism, the rule of law. Those foundational pillars can never, ever be changed. And so, this whole monumental effort finally reached its climax. On November 26, 1949, the Constitution was adopted. The blueprint was final. Then, a couple of months later, on January 26, 1950, it officially came into force. That was the moment the blueprint became the building, the day that marked the birth of India as a sovereign, democratic republic.
So, the founders gave India its blueprint, this amazing framework for justice, liberty, and equality. But a blueprint is just the start, right? It's not the finished house. So the final question, the one for all of us, is this. What is our role as citizens in continuing to build the nation they envisioned? What does it truly mean to keep building on that blueprint today?